kicks in. Next thing you know, it's a half of the pizza pie later. And it's like 5 days later in the bathroom sweating. It's finally coming out. Unbelievable. So we got a few superfoods in the list. We got hemp seed. Oh, we got on this tangent about hemp seed, didn't we? It's political when you eat hemp seed. And by the way, hemp seed can go in that bone density formula too. The point is that we can create beverages for ourselves, dishes for ourselves that are 100% joy. We like it. We want to make it. We love it. And it's 100% nutrition. So it's giving us tons of stuff. And it's not, I know this is hard to believe, it's not taking anything away. Most of the time, the food people are eating is taking away, pulling stuff out. In fact, most people are involuntary breatharians. You know what that is? That's a person who doesn't live on food, they live on air. Because the food that people are eating out there, they're living on God's love or something. Literally. It's like grace, God's just kind of like, got like a million balancing acts going right now. It's like, juggling 15 million people at once. Pulling it off with grace. But I don't know how long that's going to last. Anyway, that's a good array of superfoods right there. There are more. There are lots more. But how many do you need to know?
10.
That you will actually...
We have 7 now. We're up to 8.
Okay, we got cacao, goji berries. I'm going to tell you, we got more than that. Cacao, goji berries, maca. That's 3 right there.
Yeah,
Bee pollen. That's 4. Then we've got marine phytoplankton, spirulina, blue-green algae, chlorella, aloe vera, and hemp seed. That's 10. See that? You thought I was up here just babbling on like a maniac.
We want to make sure we get those 10.
The amounts, as much as you can eat, that feels good. Actually, the important thing about this is that you have the right amount that feels good. And this is a re-education. And you'll find, like with me on cacao beans, first it would start out small, because I didn't have any. This is back in the early days. Then it went high. Suddenly it was like 80 cacao beans a day, and I was like, that's too much. Back down to 20. And that's about right. So you find that out, but you have to test your limits in all directions. And you may overeat hemp seeds. It's possible. You could overeat goji berries. It's possible. But then that's okay. It's not like overeating a pizza. You get over it quick, and then you know what your upper limits are, and your body knows. And then your body will quickly act. That's the thing about live food, raw food in general. It's been found that your body actually does react appropriately when you start eating too much. Your body is able to shut things off. Whereas with cooked food, we never get that, what's called an alliesthetic taste change. The alliesthetic taste change also, when we get that, we can be eating a pineapple, for example. As long as it's raw and organic, we eat it, no problem. Then suddenly, boom, no taste. Next thing, boom, it burns you. Does that ever happen to anybody? That's called the alliesthetic taste change, and that's a little signal that live food gives you that cooked food can't give you. And it will stop you. And you keep going, you'll burn your mouth. That happen to you? I burned my mouth on figs, I burned my mouth on pineapples, I burned my mouth on apples before. Just you go one step too far and your body says, that's okay, that's it. Okay, now we're going to do the herbs. Okay, you ready for this? Top 10 herbs. And then we'll do questions. I'm going to do them fast. Fastest ever, here we go. Okay, astragalus, reishi mushroom, get ginseng, goji berry. In my opinion, top herbs in the world are mushrooms. Mushrooms are the most genetically aligned with us. Actually, mushrooms are their own thing. They're not really a plant, they're not really an animal, they're just their own thing. And they're about 80-something% genetically similar to us, whereas a plant is like 68% same as us. Isn't that interesting? So there's a tremendous affinity that we have towards mushrooms, we didn't even know it. Mushrooms, therefore, are able to modulate things inside of us better than plants are. In Chinese medicine, in Ayurveda, in Native American herbalism, in Amazonia, you're going to find that especially this part of the world, the Algonquin Indians and the Ojibwe Indians up above the border up there, it was all about mushrooms and tree bark. If you already got the top most powerful herbs, do you need to know about booplurum root? No. In fact, don't ever say that name again. Don't ever look that up. Because if you already have the top thing, it's like, why are you going to mess around with this thing over here? I've mentioned that point again. I just want to keep hitting that point because people are going to get confused. They're going to go out and they're going to go, look, I was reading this thing here, and it said I gotta take in this, I don't know, activated Bali mushroom. Something no one's ever heard of before. You heard of the top stuff, and I'm just going to list them for you. Reishi mushroom. Yesterday we were reishi mushroom hunting in the forest in the Catskill Mountains, and we were successful. We came back with several reishi mushrooms. It was a pretty successful haul. It's an interesting thing. The main thing that people go fishing for or hunting for is the camaraderie, and then that brief second of there he is, fire, right? Or oh, something on the line. But you can get that same thrill from hunting reishi mushrooms because they're rare. They're not on every tree. You got to look hard, and they're elusive. And if you're not in the right frame of mind, you're not going to get it. So we literally, we hiked for hours, and finally we're like, whoa, there it is. That's awesome. And so it gives you those things. So it gives you a reason, first of all, to be hiking in the forest. Most people don't go hiking in the forest because they don't have a reason to go hiking in the forest. So they're afraid they're going to get attacked by a Bigfoot or something. Reishi mushroom, spirit mushroom. It's available in all different kinds of forms. You can buy them in Chinatown. They're really not that great of quality. I would recommend reishi extracts. The New Chapters reishi extracts or Mushroom Sciences medicinal extracts. Things like that that are already kind of techno. They're really, that's what I'm looking for. Well, they basically, the technique for those extracts is so evolved that in that little much powder, that much right there, you get the equivalent of 5 reishi mushroom teas fresh. Equivalent amount of medicinal value. What is it in the mushrooms anyway that's really modulating the immune system? That's really where it works. The reishi mushroom is an immune system modulator, and what it appears to be is that mushrooms are also attractors for strange matter, or matter that doesn't really fit into our scientific theory of matter. You know what our scientific theory of matter is? Our mineral theory. Like calcium, zinc, iodine, etc., right? Those minerals. Well, it turns out that there's some minerals out there that don't really fit into that category. We call it strange matter, and that stuff's found in medicinal mushrooms like reishi mushroom. And therefore, there's something about that that makes that thing more powerful. Another way it's talked about on the internet is ormus. Anybody ever heard the word ormus? Okay. Any bestdayever.com members in here? Right on. Does anybody know what the bestdayever.com is? This is a website we put together 5 years ago now as an online magazine where you can get MP3 files of hundreds of lectures I've given. Hundreds. It's 5 gigabytes of material. That's how much material that we actually have on that site. 5 gigabytes of material. 33 interviews, 1,400 questions answered. And that's just me. That's just my part of the site, let alone Peter Ragnar and all the other people that are involved in it. And it's a crazy value, the education you can get, because you can just MP3 it, and boom, right on your computer, just like that, walking around with an iPod, and you're listening to it, you embed the information, and you go from literally 0 to superhero in a month, like that.
Best day ever?
Thebestdayever.com. Thebestdayever.com. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll pass down a little information sheet. Do you have those, Andrea?
Yeah, I have.
If you're interested in that, she'll pass that out. Anyway, this is where the things become very important, because when we're dealing with things like mushrooms, I don't want you going around your backyard and going, there's that white mushroom that he was talking about. Don't do that at home. You got to know what you're doing. That's why you got to be a little bit of a student. And what we're doing with the internet now is making it easier for you to learn. If you learn best from reading, those tools are available. If you learn best from listening, like I do, those tools are available. If you learn best by being in an environment where this is happening, that's available to you. I mean, everything's available now. Amazing. Reishi mushroom, maitake mushroom, shiitake mushroom, Coriolis mushroom, cordyceps mushroom. These mushrooms are in the top tier of all these great mushrooms in the world. And generally, they're tree mushrooms. So if you see a mushroom growing on a tree, it's unlikely that that's going to kill you. I'm just putting that out there like that. You got to know what you're doing, but